Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going over this pistol that you see in my hands right here. This is the Canik TP9 Elite Subcompact. I believe this is actually their newest pistol. I actually have one that was released earlier in the year that I still haven't done the video on, but it's kind of how things go around here with the ADD mind that is in my head. Anyway, this one here is, again, a subcompact. So generally speaking, we're going to be competing with like the Glock 26, M&P subcompacts, etc. We will show you a comparison with those here in just a second in the video, but this one's got a lot of features going on with it that some of those don't have. So right off the top, you guys can see that we do have an optics plate there. It is cut for the shield optics. So I didn't use one throughout the video simply because I don't have one and didn't want to pay $400 to get one in. So that's the downside, right, is that it is just cut for that one optic. It's just not big enough in terms of the compact package that you guys have here to run things like an RMR or a Delta Point Pro without removing the rear sight. And honestly, I prefer they have it this way because I may not be a psychic, but I'm pretty good at analyzing the gun market. And I would imagine that as guns like this become more and more popular, along with like the M&P Shield 2.0 that's cut for the shield optic, that other companies are going to make optics that fit that footprint, I would imagine, here in short order. So there is that. So for those of you guys that like to carry with optics, that's an option for you as well. The shields are good optics in my opinion, from at least in my experience, from everything I've seen. Just they're about as expensive as this pistol, so I did not get one in for the video. We'll start down here at the bottom and kind of go through all the features sort of point by point. And this is going to be, I think, probably the one con of this pistol. We're just going to start right from the top with it. So I'm going to hit the mag release and it does not drop free. The pistol does ship with 2 magazines. This one here is going to be a 12 rounder, and they have both this end plate there, which are magazine base plate rather, which gives you the ability to, even with my large hands, get a full grip on it. And it also ships with a flat base plate if you guys want to do that. Also comes with a 15 round magazine, like so. And of course you can use any of the bigger Canik magazines out there. So if you guys have the 17 rounders, the 20 rounders, whatever, they're all going to work in there just fine. And again, this one does not drop free either. It kind of sticks a little bit. This is the only Canik I have that's like that. However, I've heard that from viewers in the past. It's not unheard of. So I think, oh, look at that, it worked. But I think it's, yeah, it didn't work. So I think it just depends. Varies by the gun, but that is something to make note of. We do have an interchangeable backstrap there. This is the one that comes from the factory. It's very easily swapped out. You're just going to drive the pin out, put your bigger one in if you choose to do so. You have good texturing there on the sides, and then on the back and front of your grip, it is more aggressive. I like that. I've said that in all the videos I've made on these guns since they started doing that. I think it's really smart. That's the spot where you want the most kind of adhesion to your hand, because if you think about it, when the gun is recoiling, rather, it's going like that, and those are really the friction points. The sides are important. I like aggressive texturing there too, but I know a lot of folks don't like really aggressive texturing for when they're carrying like inside the waistband. And this one's kind of on the edge. I would say some people might think it's a little bit aggressive, but if you carry like with it rather for a while, it will start to smooth out. It always does. It's the nature of the beast, and you can also just touch it up with some sandpaper if you'd like, but up front and at the rear there, definitely very aggressive, and I do like it for sure. Continuing on up there, you guys will see we do have a striker safety indicator there. So when the safety, or rather the striker, is at the rear and ready to fire, you will see the little red indicator there at the back, and then when the trigger is pressed, you guys will see there it goes down just like so. Longtime viewers of the channel know I typically go through the frame before getting into the slides, so I got a little off track with this video. But anyway, we will continue on forward. We do have a magazine release that is reversible, which is rather, I should say, exactly what I like. So I don't like ambi-mag releases. There's a couple of reasons for it. The biggest one is it can cause you not to actually drop your magazine when you want to, because it can actually contact your finger. It also kind of gets in the way, and there's several different ways that it can cause issues internally as well. Not a fan. I like the reversible ones like this, so that way the lefties out there who want to actually swap it can do so. And as you can see there, the Canik mags are cut ambidextrously, so you can swap it very, very easily. There are no issues there. The actual slide lock, slide release here is ambidextrous on it as well. And what I like about it is it's not so large that it's going to cause things like false slide locks. A lot of folks have that with Sig Sauer P series pistols, myself included. This one does not do anything of the sort, so I do like that. However, it's very easily engaged. It has some serrations on there, so that way you can drop it with your thumb should you choose to do so. Takedown lever here, which is ambidextrous as well. We have this little memory pad out there on the frame. Some folks really like that. I don't really care either way. And we do have a rail. So I ran this one with a TLR7. You may or may not have already seen that in the video. And that, along with the Olight lights, work on there just fine. I do believe the Enforce lights do as well. I will verify that after I actually shoot this video, but I'm almost positive they do. So that really is an advantage over, say, like a Glock 26 that is much more limited in terms of what lights can actually work with it. So that's good. Our trigger guard there is oversized and large, so that way most folks, if they're wearing, you know, light gloves, light winter gloves, or duty gloves for like a military type application, will be able to very easily work the trigger and safely do so as well. We're going to kind of walk you through the trigger. You guys can see there it does have the red trigger safety on there, so that way if I pull the trigger really hard, let me actually come in here so you guys can see it. If I pull it really hard, it will not engage unless we actually depress that safety, and it has a very good brake. So we'll talk about the reset as well, since I just pulled it. Very short, very tactile, very audible. And then the brake is super clean, and it brakes right at 5.5 pounds on my scale. It's actually a little bit heavier than some of my other Canics, but the crisp brake and the really good reset is right there for you. There's absolutely nothing to complain about there from a trigger perspective at all. Moving on up to the slide, what you guys see there, of course, is the gray finish on there. However, what's nice about that, although it is Cerakoted, which is good, it's got a cool two-tone look on there. Underneath there, it is melanated, so it's kind of like the best of both worlds. A lot of guys like the color options with the Cerakote, and of course, Cerakote is a good protective finish by itself. But then with the nitrided slide underneath there, you get great corrosion resistance, good surface hardness, good lubricity, all of those sorts of things. So it is excellent in that regard. We have front serrations there. I know a lot of folks like that. We do have a loaded chamber indicator, so if there was a round in there, it would be popping up and looking at you. Then we have good serrations there on the rear. Sights that it comes with are nice. For factory sights, they're all steel, which is nice. Definitely going to win again versus the Glock 26 on that one. We have a square notch there on the rear with good serrations. It also is angled there on the front, so that way if you want to do one-handed manipulations, you can do so without issue. Then just a plain white dot front. I like them. I have zero issues with them. Gun shoots great. So there is that. Disassembly and maintenance on the gun is pretty darn simple. Once again, we're going to verify we are unloaded. We're going to point the pistol in a safe direction, press and release the trigger. We're going to pull back on the slide slightly, about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, and we are going to take our slide off. You'll see it doesn't slide all the way forward like some full-size guns do. So we have a all-steel guide rod and spring there. People dig that. Our barrel here is cold hammer forged, and then it has that nitride finish on there. I was starting to see a little bit of wear on it, but that's just from good honest use. Should mention at this point we have 600 rounds, just over, it's like 620 something rounds through this pistol. The slide's looking good, not a lot of wear in there at all. Actually, that's really good. So that's the nitriding doing its job as we spoke of, but that's it for maintenance, you know, cleaning, taking it apart. Outside of more complex armor level stuff, that's all most folks will ever have to do in terms of disassembling the pistol. In terms of cleaning, I have a full video on that for the Canik pistols if you guys are looking for that. And then there's these cutouts right there, and you're basically just going to line those up with our metal tabs that you're going to see, which are inlaid in the frame as a glass, Xylon, I believe it's called, glass infused polymer that we have here, just like Glocks, M&Ps, and stuff like that are using. And that's it, rack it, and we are back in business. Now for the part that I'm sure most of you guys have been dying to hear, is how does it compare to some competitive offerings out there. So for this example, I'm going to use a 12-round mag because the 12-round mag is what the Canik comes with. One difference though between the Glock, for example, is that with a flat base plate, you can still get 12 rounds, and then you can't do that with the Glock 26. So it could actually be a little bit smaller. But size-wise there, you guys will see the Canik is just a touch longer there in the slide. You guys can also take a look there at the thickness. Now, if you were to actually measure thickness with calipers, you would have to include the takedown, our slide lock and slide release levers. In that regard, it's definitely going to be a little bit wider. However, it's pretty darn similar overall, guys. We're talking very, very small portions of difference with the overall length. Again, with the 12 round mag in both, again, very, very similar in size. And the M&P Subcompact, we'll compare that one next. This one also has a 12 round mag, just like the Canik, though in this case it comes with a flat base plate as well. So in that regard, in terms of the actual grip of the pistol, which is generally speaking the part that prints most, the Canik and the M&P definitely have a leg up there versus the Glock. Once again, the Canik's going to be a little bit fatter there, simply due to that slide lock and slide release lever, but the actual frame and the slide itself, really, really close. We're cutting corners there. One thing to point out, and I'm not sure how well it come across on camera rather, is that the Canik definitely has a higher bore access than our M&P or Glock for sure. From the side, you guys will see, or rather from the top, it's almost identical in terms of length. The Canik is just a touch longer, maybe 1/8 of an inch when you actually line up the back there. And of course, just like the Canik, the M&P has steel sights, which is nice, so very competitive in terms of that. However, one thing that neither of these pistols has is the optics cut from the factory, so that is nice. I should also mention that the Canik comes with a decent holster. I've complained in the past about some of the Canik holsters. This one, while not the greatest holster in the world, is fully functional. There's no retention on it. You can have it, or wear it rather, inside the waistband or outside the waistband, so that's good. For folks that want a ready-to-go concealed carry package, you know, out of the box, that would absolutely work just fine. And the good news is there's a ton of companies making Canik holsters at this point, even for the little subcompact model that we have here. Price-wise, also very competitive in that regard. It's definitely going to be cheaper than our Glock, which tends to be the most expensive pistol in this category, at least not the most expensive. There's definitely way more expensive, but for sort of polymer striker fired guns that carry 12 rounds in 9mm with a double stack mag, yeah, this one's very price competitive, and again, you're getting some features that you're not going to find on other pistols out there. We will drop a link down below in the video description for you guys, and also pin one in the comments section. But if you have any questions about this pistol that we didn't answer so far, by all means, let us know down below in the comments section. However, if you have a question that you absolutely need to have answered, message me over at my Facebook page. That is where I actually respond to all the comments and messages that I get. I should say messages, not comments. All the messages that I get over there, I do see them all. Sometimes it takes me a few days, but I will get back to every one of you guys that I see. I'll also post up deals and stuff like that, so if this one comes up cheaper, we'll let you guys know over there on Facebook. The same is true if you guys are subscribed to my email. I send out minimum or maximum maximum one email a week, sometimes not even. Actually, I forget. One email a week with all the videos of the week, so that way you guys can get caught up and actually see the videos that I put up, because I know on YouTube and elsewhere, even if you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, sometimes you guys don't see them in your subscription feed. If you're not subscribed and you haven't hit the notification bell and you like this kind of video, please go ahead and hit it. I think that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing all of you in the next video.